I've always been pretty active fellow, into sports, trying to take pretty good care of myself, eating wise, exercising, worked hard, teaching and running a school, and but then in 1990 I had a heart attack, which goes way back, and it was a pretty rare electrical issue problem. So I had open heart surgery, corrected that, and then fast forward 25 years to 2000. Well, actually 26 years to 2016, and I suffered in a matter of 6 months 3 more heart attacks, which were not related to the first one whatsoever. And because I was still pretty active, I was called by my doctor an enigma, which just meant that I was an oddity, because I didn't show the signs of somebody that would be a candidate, and yet obviously I was. As a matter of fact, the first one was serious enough that it affected 40% of my heart. And backing up a little bit from that, which I believe was a God-ordained thing, we met a lady, LaVon Vaughn, in Santa Rosa, who was speaking about health and nutrition. Now, up to that point in time, I had been what I now call myself a supplement junkie. So obviously those things alone, and or with taking better care of myself, was not enough to prevent all of what I just described. But at that meeting, I realized that all supplements are not created equal. And so she explained some of that and the need for really good, whole food, organic, nutrient-dense supplementation. And both my wife and I resonated to that, and maybe even me more so, only because I was on a journey to try to recover from those heart attacks. Actually, I should preface it. We actually started the products before the heart attacks. So it was in October that we started, and it was in January of the following year that my first heart attack occurred. Looking back on it, what I see is that God had a plan to fortify my body with the good nutrition, because He knew what was coming right around the corner. And as a matter of fact, I asked my doctor, because I was kind of curious, which maybe some people don't ask, but how long was this in the making? And he said, well, by the best that I could tell from your arteries and all that, probably 10 to 20 years. So I knew that the products not only didn't have anything to do with it, but more importantly, they had a lot to do with my recovery, because now today I'm, in the words of my cardiologist, I'm his model patient, because I'm now off of all my medications, which is quite rare, even if you've had one heart attack, but if you've had more than one, it's even more rare. And then just more recently than that, he took me off of my last medication. I weaned myself off of a few others, and then he took me off of it, gladly so. And it was about 4 to 6 months ago, in one of my subsequent visits to him, he said, "Jerry, you look fantastic. What have you been doing?" And so I was able to share with him about Neolife, and I actually had a flyer for an upcoming event that Louis Smith was going to be doing in our area, showed it to him, and some of the words that came out of his mouth surprised me, because he said, "You know, Jerry, I think you're onto something here." He said, "As a matter of fact, I think this could be a wave of the future. Well, I don't think we as cardiologists are going to continue to just keep force-feeding medications to our patients." And sure enough, now I don't have to be on the medication. And I will tell you that a few of the medications had some fairly strong side effects for me. So the idea of getting off of those was huge for not only me, but for my wife. And I feel like a different person off of the medication than I did on, in the best sense of that word. And so here,
triglyceride count.
Oh yeah, that was another thing that the cardiologist mentioned to me. He said after one of my blood workups that it was the best triglyceride count he'd ever seen. So, and I know one of our products specifically addresses that issue, so we're very thankful for the Salmon Oil Plus, among many other products. What I didn't tell you is also in the healing process, both LaVon, but particularly Louis, gave me a pretty full regimen of products to take. And I now see that I think that is one of the, like I said, one of the big reasons for the fast healing, along with a lot of praying friends. And as my wife says, for me, a strong will to live, which comes partly from her because she wanted to see me around a few more years. And so here we are. Yeah.
Yep.